Hey guys, I've been getting some serious hate comments on my food bank videos, so I wanted to kind of show you what it is that I do in my community and why I utilize the food bank. And I'm not an abuser, and I'll share some of the comments I've been getting. They're pretty scathing, and since y'all don't know what I do, maybe I should tell you and then let you guys judge me. So this is one of my favorite murals in town that I helped get paid for through grants. There's actually quite a few of them. I'll show you a few. Here's one on our dental office. This is one on our historic theater commemorating a movie that was filmed here. Oh, and I forgot, the hanging baskets were also part of that grant project. So the electrical and wire that went in here to water these and the hanging baskets were part of that. So grant writing is just one of the things I do. This is part of one of many projects. There's another one on the other side of this parking lot. This one we did for the kids. I really like this artist. It's kind of like like a kid's illustration in a kid's book. Okay, enough of the murals. I just love them. But that's just like a small part. What I do is like civic improvement projects, usually through grant writing. Like the mural grant, I think I made like 50 cents an hour. So I am working. I'm just not really getting paid. So like some grants, I don't make any money. Some grants I can write an administrative fee into, but it's pretty nominal. Like when I consider my time, like 50 cents an hour is not a livable wage. But the amount of money I've been able to bring into town far outweighs what I take. So normally I'm like a duck and stuff just rolls off my back because people don't know me. I don't expect you to know me. I don't share everything on here. But this last comment got me really, really mad because I work my butt off. I am so involved in this community. You could ask anyone in town. I don't do nothing. But some of the comments I've got is like, you've got a really nice house. Like, why are you using the food bank? You're young. Like, why don't you work? I do work. I just don't get paid. Yeah, it's not glamorous work either. Like I thought food banks were only for the desperately poor. I mean, I have kids. Like I can scrounge. I'm fat. Like I could go on a diet. Granted, but I have kids. I'm not gonna not feed my kids. You know what I mean? People think I'm bragging about the food bank. I've been putting this out here. Like I'm a prideful person. Clearly, I'm making this video. Going to the food bank, using food stamps, using other people's tax dollars is not something I ever thought I would do, ever wanted to do. I am a hardworking person, but the only reason we do it is it's the only way we can keep doing what we do in the community. It's the only way that we can keep helping people at the level that we do. And I'll explain that more because it's not just grants and civic improvement stuff. The majority of what I do is a lot more intimate and a lot more personal, like physically helping people in need. Like, for instance, the other night we pulled a lady out from under a tree. She has some mental health issues. It's a small town, so I think I know almost all of the homeless people in town. And I know a lot of the people struggling with addiction, or that are struggling with both. And so we got a call from a gal the other night. She had been drinking and tripped and fell and hurt herself pretty badly, and it was pouring down rain, and she had crawled underneath a tree in the park, and it's midnight, and we got a call. Couldn't really understand, took a while to find her, got her into the car, and then took her up to our fire station that kind of acts like an emergency room when our little urgent care isn't open, and got her fixed up. So that is my life. Like, it's not a normal life. Granted, I know there's people that do abuse the system. They get on social services and they just sit and watch TV and they don't do anything with their lives. Granted, I get those people exist. But it's pretty harsh to judge people not knowing their situation. We get literal calls in the night to go help people who desperately need help, whose family has passed away. I do caregiving for people whose parents are on hospice and they're not physically able to take care of them. I do some really gnarly stuff and I don't get paid. And it's a wonderful job. It's the best job I've ever had. So this one got me. Not gonna lie. I wasn't gonna say anything. But someone wrote, if I got all this free food, I would not want to stand up and take care of myself either. Get a backbone and some dignity. That was not all she said, but that's the part that got me. It is hard to go to the food bank. It's hard to be seen at a food bank when I am physically able, but it helps me take care of other people. I always have extra on hand. We live in a community that floods occasionally and people are displaced. We live high up enough that that's not going to happen. We can house people and feed people. Quite often, if the food bank's closed, I will get calls and I will pack up a big box. I don't keep it all for myself. Like, we share it. This last video that got that scathing comment, they must not have watched it, because I started out saying that like we were hosting for other small children because their baby brother was probably dying in the hospital. Like, I don't know, people just must not be watching. So that is part of what I do. I am also, I mean, try not to say anything, but I am a pastor's wife, and that's partly why I am in the situation I am. The other part is probably it's a small town. Everybody knows everybody. The majority of the work I would call church work isn't necessarily with church members. Man, times are hard right now. People don't have money. People are desperate. Our county specifically has a lot of drug and alcohol abuse, child abuse. 49% of our children up at the public school are living under the poverty level. It's a rough town. There's a lot of needs. There's a lot of social emotional needs, a lot of financial needs. A lot of what I've been doing with the grants in the community is to kind of, when you live in a dilapidated, broken down place, it's not a conducive environment for bettering yourself. So when the community gets better aesthetically, that there's a sense of pride for your community and a sense of pride for yourself. So nothing really to do with church work, but it's a way to get involved, to be seen, and now I'm paying for it because I do so much that I don't work. So we made a choice a couple years back. My husband was working full-time as an accountant, and I was working for the Oregon Health and Science University from home. And we decided things were just getting so hard and trying to be able to do everything we needed to do in the community that he quit. And shortly thereafter, I lost my job at OHSU. My contract ended. They didn't want to renew. I was a totally at-home worker, but unless everyone got the COVID shot, you're getting your contract renewed. So that was kind of a choice I made. I'd already had COVID, wasn't as immune. Like, I didn't need it. I didn't see the need because I wasn't interacting with patients. I never went in a building. So they let me go. So here we are. We are living on a very small, the equivalent of a part-time low-income job, and raising 4 children. So 6 kids, a house, or 6 kids, 6 people in a house, and living on not much. But I'll show you some more projects I've done, because I don't think I do nothing. So let me show you some more ways I've saved our community money. I've brought a lot of money in, but I've also saved the community a lot of money. So let me show you some projects. Okay, I don't know if you can see this very well, but this is our local Legion Hall, and they need a new roof desperately. It's literally like a waterfall. When you go in the winter, because we live in a rainforest, we get a lot of rain, and there is a literal waterfall coming down the chimney on the inside. So we're working on that. I've already got a couple grants, but it's a $45,000 roof job, so not tiny. Okay, this is our local food pantry and senior center. They went in together The last one was condemned in the flood. The food pantry, I think, I can't remember if they were operating out of the senior center. Anyway, it got flooded and destroyed. So all this landscaping, there's just a ton of ground. I don't know if you can see it. They had worked really hard and were about to lose their large grant to get more, or to build a new place. And they have all this bare earth. We're still working on it. All this. This guy ripped out of someone's yard. They didn't want it, and he is thriving. Super stoked about that. He's just going to take over this whole area, and it'll be green and weed free. Here's some more that we filled. All this was donated. Every single plant here was either pulled out of someone's yard or donated. And the bid for the landscaping was $50,000. And the kids and I built this. Isn't this cute? It's a dry river bed. These rocks were donated. And the bid for the landscaping, which is required when you build a new building here in town, especially a commercial building, you have to have landscaping. And the cheapest bid they could get was $50,000. Are you kidding me? I don't think this rosemary is going to make it. That was actually from my yard, but I think he was too big to move. The sage is doing good, though. Yeah, all this space. So, it's a lot of ground to cover, right? But it was $50,000, and they were going to lose their ability. I can't remember how many hundreds of thousands of dollars. They were going to lose all that if they couldn't come up with the 50. And they had just tapped the community. They had fundraised. So I stepped up and I was like, hey, we got this. We'll just pull stuff out of our own yards. There's enough gardeners here. We can get it done. And do it for free. And so we did. We called a local tree trimming company. They donated all the chips. All the plants came out of someone's yard, or a local nursery donated some. What else? Oh, what we did is we dumpster dived at the school. We got permission from the custodian, Mr. Brown, from the guy that runs all the janitors, and he was like, go for it. So they opened up their giant bin, and we took all the cardboard we could, and where we didn't put plants, we put cardboard down as our weed barrier. It was awesome. We had like 20 people participate, and in a day we put plants in, put cardboard down, and spread chips. We saved them $50,000 in one day. That gives me dignity. That gives me pride. That is work, coordinating that. I don't do nothing. I'm not a mooch. Man, I've got more projects around town. I'll show you last one. I'll show you one more. Okay, this is our city hall, and this is one of my favorite projects. So I got these shrubs donated, and I brought down a bunch of little preschoolers, and this was just weeds, like thistles and stuff. And we planted all these shrubs and got them lined up in a nice line and planted them. And now that they're older, they come over here and tell people I did that. I'm trying not to get emotional because I know it's a bunch of shrubs, but this community needs me, and they can't afford to pay for this kind of love that I have. And if you don't like that, you don't have to watch my videos.